Okay, so last time we learned how to write a line given a slope and a point. Well, now they're not giving us a slope, but they are giving us an additional point. So if they give us 2 points, how do we write that equation of a line? And the equation that we're going to be using is called slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Now, slope-intercept form is going to be given by y equals mx plus b. The x and the y are going to be variables, but the m is going to stand for the slope, and the b is going to stand for the y-intercept. The y-intercept. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using these 2 points to figure out the slope. So the first thing to do is to find the slope. And the slope is going to be given by m. You can think of it as rise over run, or you can think about it as y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So what we're doing is we're actually taking the difference between the y coordinates and we're dividing it by the change in the x coordinates. So let's take the y coordinates. We have -1. I'm going to make that my second y coordinate, and my 3 is going to also be a y coordinate. It's going to be my first y coordinate. And then I'm going to use those in my formula. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify my x coordinates. So here, 3 is going to be my x coordinate. It's actually going to be x2. So the x2 and the y2 are going to go together, and the x1 and the y1 are going to go together. Okay, so I'm going to take those 4 numbers and I'm going to plug them directly into my slope equation. So I'm going to have m equals y2 minus y1. That's going to be -1 minus 3. On the bottom, I'm going to have my x coordinates. That's going to be 3 minus 0. So now I figure out what the top of the fraction is and what the bottom of the fraction is. So the top of the fraction is going to be -1 minus 3. Well, that's the same thing as -4. Just getting that by subtracting. And the bottom is going to be 3 minus 0. That's going to give me +3. So this is going to be my slope, or my m. I'm going to plug that directly into the slope-intercept form, and I'm going to get y equals mx. My m is -4/3, right? -4/3 x plus b. So now what I need to do is I need to figure out what b is, because m is going to be a number, but b is also going to be a number. And to figure out what b is, I have to plug in a point. I have to plug in a point. And it can be one of the original 2. It doesn't matter which one you choose. So I'm going to choose this 0, 3. So the y coordinate for the 0, 3 is going to be the 3. This is going to be my y coordinate, and my x coordinate is going to be the 0. So my y is going to be 3. My slope is still -4/3. And my x coordinate is going to be 0. And I still have plus b. I don't know what b is yet, but we're about to find out. Now, just solving this for b, I know that -4/3 times 0 is going to give me 0. My 3 comes down, my plus b comes down. I know that 0 plus b is just going to give me b. So now I know what b is. B is going to be 3. So now I know what b is. I know what m is. Remember what my m was? My m is going to be my slope, -4/3. I'm going to use those 2 numbers to make my slope-intercept form. So now I'm ready to write my answer. Y equals mx. My m is -4/3, so I plug in -4/3 x plus 3. 3 is going to be my b. And those are the 2 numbers that you need to find. You need to find the slope and you need to find the y-intercept, and then write it as y equals mx plus b. So that's how you write a line given 2 points. You can use those 2 points to find the slope, and then you can plug in one of the points, doesn't matter which, to figure out what your y-intercept is going to be. So I hope that helps.